Have you ever looked around and thought, why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward, but I'm just standing still? You wake up, you do what you need to do. But inside, it feels heavy, numb, like you're walking through a thick fog with no direction, no energy, and no end in sight. It's like life has hit pause, but the world keeps playing. You scroll, you watch, you listen, but nothing speaks to your soul anymore. The fire that once burned inside you, it's quiet now. Not gone, just silent. And deep down, that silence is the scariest part. Because you remember a time when you were excited, when you had dreams, goals. That version of you still exists, but it feels so far away now, doesn't it? This feeling, this stuck season, it's real. It's not your imagination. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It's a signal. And if you stay with me till the end of this video, I'll show you the mental shift that can turn your stuck place into your starting point. It's not magic. It's mindset. And if you understand how to use it, life starts to move again. But first, let's be honest, because that's where every breakthrough begins, with honesty. You feel stuck because something inside of you knows you were meant for more. You weren't made for survival mode. You weren't made to wake up dreading the day. You weren't made to settle for just okay. And your soul knows it. Psychology tells us that when people feel stuck, what they're actually experiencing is disconnection. Disconnection from purpose, from passion, from progress. And that disconnect slowly drains your energy, your belief, your voice. It's not that you're broken. It's not that you've failed. It's that you've lost touch with your why. And without a clear why, life becomes a loop. Wake up. Do enough to get by. Sleep. Repeat. That loop is what keeps millions of people in quiet despair, smiling on the outside but screaming on the inside. But here's something powerful. The fact that you feel this way is actually proof that you are still awake inside. If you were truly done, you wouldn't care. But you do. You care enough to notice, to feel, to ask the question, is this all there is? That question is not weakness. It's the beginning of strength. Because the moment you start questioning your current state, you're already reaching for change. And where there is desire, there is direction. See, most people live by default. They follow the path handed to them. But the ones who rise, the leaders, the successful, the fulfilled, they live by design. They hit stuck moments too, but they use them. They listen to them. They ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? Because being stuck is not the end of the road. It's the invitation to rebuild the road. It's life's way of saying, you've outgrown this level. Time to rise. But let me be clear. Rising doesn't mean doing everything overnight. It doesn't mean massive action. It starts smaller, much smaller. It starts with the voice inside you. Right now, that voice may be saying, you're not good enough. You're too far behind. You're too old, too late. And when that voice repeats long enough, it becomes your truth, even if it's a lie. But here's what human psychology shows us. You don't need to change your whole life in a day. You only need to change your inner language. The words you say to yourself become your reality, and today you can begin to shift them. Instead of I'm stuck, try I'm becoming aware. Instead of I'm lost, try I'm learning what matters. Instead of I don't know what to do, try I'm ready to discover something new. That change might seem small, but it opens a door in your brain, a door to possibility, to hope, to movement. And once your mind starts to move, your life will follow. So if you're feeling stuck, know this, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are being called to something greater. And the fact that you're still listening proves that you're still growing. Stay with this message, because by the end of this video, you'll have a new way to think, a new way to speak, a new way to lead yourself out of this place. Not because of hype, but because you remembered who you are and what you're capable of becoming. The next part will show you something that most people never realize about success. And once you know it, you'll never look at your stuck seasons the same way again. Here's the truth. Nobody tells you when you feel stuck. Even the strongest people have felt exactly like you. The most successful names you hear today, the ones who lead, inspire, and seem unshakable, they've all had moments where they questioned everything. They've had nights filled with self-doubt, days where they wanted to quit, seasons where nothing made sense. But the difference? They didn't let that season define them. They used it to refine them. Because success isn't built in comfort. It's born in silence, in struggle, in uncertainty. You don't become powerful by avoiding stuck moments. You become powerful by facing them and deciding they won't have the final say. The world sees the results, but they never show the years of confusion, the hours spent alone, the doubts that whispered, "You're not enough." But in those private battles, something deeper awakens. The moment you feel like breaking down, that's when something inside you has the chance to break through. That's the hidden truth. Your stuck season isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's not the end of your story. It's the part where the real story begins. Because life doesn't test the weak. It tests those it knows are ready to rise. If you feel like everything around you is falling apart, maybe, just maybe, it's actually falling into place. Maybe this isn't a breakdown. Maybe it's the start of your rebuild. And when you come out on the other side, stronger, clearer, more focused, you'll realize something. You never needed the perfect path. You just needed the courage to take one step, even if that step was shaky. Even if it was slow, it still counted, it still moved you. And now, you're not stuck, you're shifting. And that shift is the start of your rise. Most people think being stuck means something is wrong with them. But here's the truth. Feeling stuck isn't a sign of failure. It's a signal, a message from your soul saying something needs to change. It's your inner compass trying to get your attention, not to shame you, but to wake you, because the mind will stay in the same loop forever, until you stop and ask, why am I really feeling this way? That moment of reflection, that's where your power begins. Psychologists call this the pause of awareness. It's when you finally notice you're off track. And from that moment forward, you're no longer just existing. You're starting to choose. You're stuck not because you're weak. You're stuck because your current version has outgrown the life around it. You've outgrown old habits, old routines, old conversations, old ways of thinking. That's why everything feels tight, small, frustrating. It's not because you're lost. It's because you're meant to expand. The discomfort, that's growth knocking at the door. But most people ignore that knock. They numb it, distract it, blame others for it. Leaders, real ones, listen. They don't see stuckness as a trap. They see it as a teacher. They stop. They reflect. They adjust. And with each shift, life starts to open up again. Remember this, being stuck is not a sentence. It's not permanent. It's not who you are. It's simply a signal that says it's time to evolve. And the moment you understand that, you stop fighting the feeling and start learning from it. You stop seeing it as a wall and start using it as a mirror. And in that mirror, you don't see someone broken. You see someone becoming. The feeling of being stuck isn't the real danger. The real danger is staying stuck. And here's why most people do. They wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of themselves. But perfection is a lie. It keeps you frozen. It whispers, don't move until everything is safe. And so you wait. Weeks turn into months, months into years. You're not lazy. You're not afraid of success. You've just been taught to fear discomfort. But growth lives inside discomfort. Freedom lives inside action. And most people stay stuck because they fear the unknown more than they hate where they are. They overthink. They try to control every outcome before taking the first step. But psychology shows that clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from moving. You can't figure everything out while standing still. Confidence isn't built in your head. It's built by taking imperfect steps. The second reason people stay stuck, they believe the voice of doubt more than the voice of truth. That inner voice, the one that says you're not ready, you'll fail, you don't have what it takes, it's not truth, it's fear wearing a mask. And the more you listen to it, the stronger it gets. But here's the secret. That voice gets quieter when you act anyway. When you stop negotiating with fear and just move forward, even if it's messy, because action kills fear every single time. Most people stay stuck because they think they need motivation to move. But it's the opposite. Movement creates motivation. You don't wait to feel ready. You decide. You move. And the energy follows. That's how leaders break free. Not by knowing everything, but by trusting that action will unlock everything. And that trust is what separates those who dream from those who do. There comes a moment in life where you have to stop looking outward and start looking inward. Because the truth is simple yet powerful. You are the answer you've been waiting for. Not the job, not the person, not the timing. Most people stay trapped because they keep searching for someone or something to rescue them. They think, if I just had more support, more money, more time, then I'd be happy. But that mindset keeps your power outside of you. It makes you a victim of your circumstances instead of a creator of your life. The shift begins when you say, I'm not waiting anymore. That single decision flips the script, because the strongest leaders in life weren't the ones with the most help. They were the ones who realized they already had what it takes inside them. It wasn't louder voices they needed. It was a stronger belief in themselves. Psychology calls it internal locus of control. It means you believe you have influence over your life, not life over you. When you carry that belief, you stop asking for permission to grow. You stop needing validation to take action. You start showing up, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, because deep down, no one's coming to save you. And that's not depressing. That's empowering, because it means the power is in your hands now to rise, to move, to speak, to lead. You are not missing anything. Everything you need to begin is already inside you. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a powerful decision. And once that decision is made, everything begins to shift, because you're no longer asking the world to change. You've decided to change yourself. And that is where everything begins. The way you talk to yourself shapes everything. It shapes your mood, your choices, and even your future. Leaders aren't just people who speak well to others. They are people who speak well to themselves. Because before you can lead anyone else, you have to lead your own mind. What you say inside your head becomes the foundation of your reality. If your self-talk is full of doubt, fear, and criticism, your world will feel heavy and impossible. But if your self-talk is filled with encouragement, courage, and clarity, you create a strong inner force, a force that no obstacle can break. This is the hidden secret of successful people. They train their minds like a leader trains a team. They don't let the negative voice control the conversation. Instead, they become the voice of reason and hope. When the inner critic says, you can't do this, they respond with, I can learn, I can grow. When the mind whispers, you'll fail, they answer, failure is just feedback. I'm getting better. This back and forth inside your mind is not weakness, it's practice. You are rewiring your brain with every word you choose. Psychology proves that repeated thoughts form neural pathways, your mental habits. So, what habit do you want to build? The habit of self-doubt or the habit of self-belief? Real leadership starts here, not from a title or position, but from the voice inside that says, I am capable, I am worthy, I will rise. When you master your self-talk, you become unstoppable, because the loudest voice in your life becomes your greatest ally. And with that ally on your side, no stuck moment can hold you back. Words are more than just sounds. They are the building blocks of your reality. Every word you speak, whether out loud or in your mind, shapes how you see yourself and the world around you. When you say, I'm stuck, your brain hears it as truth, and it locks you into that feeling. But when you say, I am growing, your brain begins to search for growth. Your mind starts to look for opportunities. Your energy shifts. This is not just positive thinking, it's science. Psychologists call this the self-fulfilling prophecy. Your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. Words have power because they trigger emotions, and emotions fuel action. So when you choose words of doubt, you get stuck. When you choose words of hope, you move forward. Successful people understand this deeply. They don't waste time complaining about their problems. They focus on speaking solutions, progress, and vision. Instead of saying, this is too hard, they say, I'm learning to be stronger. Instead of saying, I can't, they say, I will try. Instead of saying, I'm lost, they say, I'm finding my way. Words like these change the direction of your mind. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the words you choose to say today. Speak like a leader, even when no one is listening, because those words build your inner world, and that inner world determines what you will create next. Start choosing your words carefully. Use them to build courage. Use them to build belief. Use them to build momentum. Remember, the words you choose today will write the story you live tomorrow. There's a voice inside all of us, a voice that doubts, judges, and criticizes. It's the inner critic, and it's often the loudest voice in the room. This critic tells you things like, you're not good enough or you'll never succeed. It feeds on fear and insecurity. And when you listen, it keeps you stuck. But here's the truth. That voice is not your enemy. It's just a habit, a pattern your mind learned to protect you from failure. The problem is, it doesn't protect you, it traps you. To move forward, you don't have to silence the critic completely. You just need to learn how to listen without believing. Think of it like a radio station you don't want to hear. You can change the channel. You can lower the volume. When the critic shows up, recognize it. Say to yourself, that's just fear talking. I'm going to focus on what I can control. Replace harsh words with gentle ones. Instead of, I'm not capable, try, I'm learning every day. Instead of, I'm a failure, try. Failure is part of growth. Psychology shows that this practice rewires your brain. With time, the critic's power fades. Your confidence grows. You don't have to be perfect to silence the critic. You only need to be brave enough to refuse its control. Every time you choose belief over doubt, you take a step closer to freedom. Remember, your inner critic is just a voice, not the truth. You have the power to decide which voice wins. Choose wisely. When life feels stuck, the biggest mistake is trying to fix everything at once. The mountain seems too high, the path too long. So many give up before they start. But here's what successful people know. Progress is born from small steps, not giant leaps. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need the courage to move forward, one step at a time. This courage isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet and steady. It's the voice inside saying, I will try again today. Every small step you take builds momentum. Every tiny action creates new energy inside you. Psychologists call this the progress principle. It means even the smallest wins give your brain a hit of motivation. And motivation leads to more action. So don't underestimate the power of small steps, making your bed, writing one sentence, saying yes to a new idea. These are the bricks that build your new life. And the courage to take these small steps, it's the difference between being stuck forever and starting your rise. You don't need to be perfect or ready. You just need to begin. No matter how slow, no matter how small, the mountain doesn't become smaller. You become stronger. And that strength is the real victory. Remember, leaders don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it by moving forward. So take your next step now. It doesn't have to be big, just forward. Because in movement lies freedom, and in courage lies transformation. When life feels stuck, one of the most powerful things you can do is to look around you. Who are you spending your time with? What energy do they bring into your life? Energy is contagious. You absorb the moods, beliefs, and habits of the people closest to you. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and fear, those feelings grow inside you. But if you surround yourself with positivity, courage, and ambition, those feelings begin to expand. Successful people understand this deeply. They don't just seek support, they seek inspiration. They choose to be around those who lift them higher, who challenge them to grow, who believe in their potential even when they don't. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out. It means you need to protect your energy like a leader guards a treasure. Your environment shapes your mindset. The right energy fuels your motivation. It sparks new ideas. It strengthens your courage to keep moving when it feels impossible. If you feel stuck, ask yourself, who am I letting influence my thoughts? Who helps me rise? Who pulls me down? Choose wisely, because your circle can either trap you or set you free. Remember, no one rises alone. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Surround yourself with people who see your potential, with people who push you to be better, with people who believe in growth and inspire you to grow. Your breakthrough depends on the company you keep. Choose your tribe, protect your energy, and watch how your life begins to move forward. Failure is one of the most misunderstood parts of life. Most people see failure as a dead end, a sign that they're not good enough, a reason to give up. But the truth is different. Failure is the fuel for growth. Every successful person has failed, countless times. The difference is how they use failure. They don't let it stop them. They don't take it as a personal attack. They see it as information, a lesson, a guide pointing them toward the next right step. Failure is feedback from life saying, try a new way, learn more, get stronger. Psychology shows that those who see failure as a learning tool build what's called a growth mindset. They understand that ability and success are not fixed. They're built over time with effort, resilience, and persistence. This mindset turns failure from a fear into a friend. It removes the shame and replaces it with curiosity. Instead of asking, why did I fail? They ask, what can I learn? This shift changes everything. Because when you embrace failure as fuel, you stop fearing it. You stop running from it, and suddenly you're free to try new things, to push limits, to explore your potential. Remember, leaders are not those who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. They fail forward. They rise faster. They grow stronger. So when life feels stuck and failure knocks at your door, open it. Invite failure in as your teacher. Use its lessons to light your way. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. When life feels stuck, one of the most powerful things you can do is create a clear vision. A vision acts like a compass. It points you in the right direction when the path feels lost. Without vision, you drift. You wander aimlessly through your days. You feel stuck because you have no clear why to move forward, but when you create a vision, a picture of the life you want, it ignites something deep inside you. It gives you purpose. It fuels your energy. It creates meaning. Psychology proves that having a clear goal activates your brain's reward system. Your mind starts to release chemicals that motivate you to act. This is why leaders don't just dream, they design their future. They write down what they want. They imagine it vividly. They feel it as if it's already happening. Your vision doesn't have to be perfect or complete. It just needs to be clear enough to guide your next steps. And here's the key. Vision without action is just wishful thinking. You must move toward your vision, even if it's just a little each day. Each step, no matter how small, connects you to your future. It breaks the chains of being stuck. Remember, a mountain is climbed one step at a time. Your vision is the top of that mountain. When you hold that image in your mind and take daily steps, the stuck feeling starts to fade. You gain momentum, you gain hope, you gain control. So today, take a moment, create your vision, see it clearly, feel it deeply. Then, move toward it one small step at a time, because that vision is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you build day by day, moment by moment. When life feels stuck, resilience is your secret weapon. It's what keeps you moving when everything inside screams to quit. The good news? Resilience grows from consistency. Small, steady actions done every day build a mental toughness that no obstacle can break. It's not about giant leaps or overnight success. It's about showing up again and again. When you commit to consistency, you train your mind to expect progress, even if it's slow. You build confidence by proving to yourself that you can keep going. Psychology calls this the practice effect. Repeated effort rewires your brain, making you stronger, more focused, and more persistent. This is how leaders stay calm under pressure, how they bounce back from failure, how they turn setbacks into comebacks. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's often invisible to others. But it's the foundation of all growth. Remember, diamonds are made under pressure, layer by layer. Your consistent effort is shaping your future, even when it feels like nothing is happening. So keep going. Keep doing the small things. Keep showing up for yourself. Each day you build resilience. Each day you get stronger. And soon, the stuck feeling will be a distant memory, because consistency transforms struggle into strength. It's the quiet power behind every success story. One of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck is chasing perfection, waiting for the right moment, the perfect plan, or flawless results. But perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that never satisfies. When you focus only on perfection, you ignore the progress you're making every day. You overlook the small wins that build your future. Successful people understand this deeply. They celebrate progress, not perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Each effort is proof that you're growing. Psychology shows that recognizing progress triggers positive feelings in your brain. It fuels motivation and builds momentum. When you celebrate your wins, you create a cycle of success. You feel encouraged to keep moving. On the other hand, perfectionism breeds frustration and paralysis. It makes you wait, hesitate, doubt. So instead of waiting to be perfect, start celebrating today. Celebrate showing up. Celebrate trying, celebrate learning. Every time you acknowledge your progress, you reinforce your belief in yourself. You build resilience and courage. Remember, life isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about growth, step by step. Celebrate your journey. Honor your effort. And watch how your stuck feeling slowly disappears, because progress is the path to freedom. The moment you realize your life is waiting for you to take control, is the moment everything changes. No one else holds the keys to your future. No magic fix, no secret shortcut. It's all in your hands. When life feels stuck, it's easy to feel powerless. But power isn't given. It's claimed, and claiming it starts with a choice, a decision to no longer accept being stuck. You have the strength, courage, and the ability to break free. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. Remember, leaders don't wait for permission. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They take control. They decide. They act. Your life is waiting on the other side of that decision. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for someone else to save you. Your breakthrough begins now with the choice to rise above. Every moment you take control, you build your future. You rewrite your story. You become the leader of your life. You've learned the mindset. You've learned the power of words. You've learned the courage to take small steps. Now it's time to act. Your life is waiting. Will you answer the call? The choice is yours. Take control, step forward, and become the leader you were meant to be.